Hello, hello. Welcome to the living room. Hello, Akeem.
Hi, Miss Khei. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming to the living room for this interview. So today we're going to be having our guest in the living room, Dr. Akeem Ngomu, an immunologist from South Africa, a good friend of mine. We met about 13 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
We've been friends. He's my brother, one of my best friends. I really appreciate him. And I thought today it would be nice to talk to him about his journey because I think he has an inspiring journey to share with everyone. So before I waste any more time, Akeem, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Akeem. Everyone may know me as Akeem, but actually my full name is Akeem Ngomu. Everyone call me Akeem is fine. Originally from the Congo, actually, Democratic Republic of Congo. We immigrated to South Africa maybe around 21 years now. I can still remember that it was on the 4th of December 2000. And yeah, I have a lot of brothers, a big family. Most of them live in South Africa, and currently I'm here in the US doing a postdoc at MIT in the Department of Bioengineering. Yeah, that is shortly. That is me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. So what did you just mentioned that you're currently at MIT doing a postdoc?
Yes.
What did you have to study in order to be at that point?
I started science. I started with engineering, but I could not complete a degree in engineering. To cut the long story short, when we arrived in South Africa, I did a Bachelor of Science in genetics and chemistry. Then I did a master's in immunology based on focusing on HIV, and a PhD in immunology as well, focusing on TB, cryptococcus, and HIV co-infections.
Oh, okay. So you did your master's, you studied HIV, then for your PhD you moved to TB and other co-infections. Why TB in particular?
The problem with TB currently is that there is a few problems, but I'm just going to give you just a few details. The biggest problem with TB is that we have been using one vaccine, BCG vaccines, that is partially protective in children, but is almost non-protective in adult. We have been using that vaccine for almost 100 years, and we don't have any other vaccine. In 2018, we had a very excellent vaccine candidate that went on clinical trial, only to realize that it showed very good result in preclinical studies, but when it comes to clinical trials, it was not protective at all. Only to find out we do not know what as the correlate of immunoprotection or correlate of protection in tuberculosis at all. So we went all the way back to the drawing line or drawing table, trying to see what are the correlate of immunoprotection in tuberculosis. Actually, that is one reason. The second reason, the TB diagnosis, the gold standard of TB diagnosis right now is culture. That take almost, for you to get the result, it take almost 6 months. There is some very good diagnostic tools like the gene expect in tuberculosis, but they're still a little bit expensive. So that is a few reasons. So we don't. And the third reason is the treatment. TB treatment. TB therapies are very, very long. The shortest one right now takes 6 months. And the fourth reason is related to that one is a drug resistance, TB resistant drug resistance, which is the biggest problem. we need a whole, completely new family of TB therapies, because the one we have now tuberculosis strain that are resistant almost to all the drugs that we have. So there's still a lot to do in tuberculosis. And that's how research into tuberculosis is still very important. Most people, TB is the first killer of people living in HIV in sub-Saharan Africa. If not, HIV itself is not a problem anymore, because it's not such as a problem anymore, because we have fantastic HIV drugs, but TB make HIV the problem.
Yeah. So what drives you? Like, who inspired you when you were growing up?
I think curiosity. That is what drove me to science. Yeah, but it was not really one journey that I'm going to be a scientist. In fact, when I was growing up, I did not know any other option. I just thought I'm going to be an engineer. Period.
Yeah.
That is, there were not many any other options. And I think my family knew that. When this is a story that I haven't told many people. When I grew up, actually, my name was Shamamba. That was
what does it mean?
My name, Shamamba. It just means people who born with 5 fingers. Because I had one. That was my name.
5 fingers or 6?
6 fingers.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then when I was very little, I was with my mom visiting a different town. Then I pick up a piece of how do you call it? The one that used to work the land in the farms.
What is it called? I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever that.
So
that tool.
That tool. Yeah. So I went. My mom did not know that I have ever seen anyone using the tool, but I went and I found a stick. Put the stick in the tool and started using it.
Wow.
So they changed actually my name from Shamamba to Akili Mali, which means Akili Nimali.
What does it mean?
In Swahili, it's a Swahili name. Just means that. Funny enough, if you try to Google that, you're going to say intellectual property, but it means that intelligence or knowledge is wealth. That's what it means.
Wow, that's a beautiful name. Yeah. Okay. So you're currently doing your postdoc at MIT. What do you plan to do after?
Wow. Currently, that is a very difficult question for me. If you ask me 1 month ago, I was just going to tell you that I'm going to become a professor. Period.
Yeah.
Because I love the academic world. I love publishing papers. I love teaching on those things. So if you ask me 1 month ago, what is my plan? I was going to tell you that I'm going to be a professor. I'm planning to be a professor. But right now, I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded. Either I'll go for a faculty position. I'm open to that. Even going for industry. We are seeing that the most resilient science now that is making a very huge impact is also coming from industry. Like our current vaccines for coronavirus, none of them. There was a little bit of a contribution that came from academia, but the big bulk of it came from industry, like Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and things like that. So we can still make a very good impact while we are in the industry. We have to find a way to not demonize the industry or the pharmaceutical all the time. So right now I'm open-minded.
Okay. We are going to take a break. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to the living room. Welcome back, Akeem.
Thank you.
It's really nice talking to you today. So you talked a little bit about, how you enjoy writing papers and teaching and all of that. How important is publications and writing grants during a postdoctoral experience? How is that important?
Mostly in science, probably that is the best way to evaluate the science that we are doing. We cannot be doing science and take all that science and bury it doing anything. We have to publish that science, put it out there so that other people knows. That is how we create. That's how we create knowledge. That is very important that science be reviewed by other scientists, so that to see if it's the science stand to. That's how we contribute to the knowledge. That's very important, and that is how the only one way to evaluate you as a scientist. If you are putting something out there. It's not an easier exercise, but it's a fantastic way of contributing to knowledge. So that is very, very important. Unfortunately, publications they take long, and they are very, very, very difficult to go through. And sometimes you may be doing very good science, excellent science, but you are not getting positive result. Positive result, and that means that when you create hypothesis and you try to test that hypothesis is negative. Data like that become difficult to publish, and if you don't publish in science, there is no any other way really to evaluate you, or many other ways to evaluate your work.
So we're currently going through a pandemic. Everyone is struggling with COVID-19 pandemic. How has it affected your work and productivity?
The pandemic affected everyone. Actually, the pandemic affected everyone. Funny enough, last year 2010,
last year 2020.
2020 means the publications increased because of the fact that a lot of people were sitting on the data when everyone started working at home. People got time to
analyze
the
write
data
up stories
and come out with story.
Some
of us were at the beginning of our postdoc. At that time, we did not have enough data to do any writings or things like that. It gave us time to read, but we didn't have enough data to sit on and write, and it took us almost a year without being in the lab. So it delayed the science. Though the positive things that we got some time to think about the work we are doing, to read more about the work we are doing, and they come out with new experiments. And in general, the pandemic delayed everyone who did not have enough data to sit down and write the story from or analyze that data. That is one thing. Considered like entering the 4th year of my postdoc, but for me, I can see it as 3 years. But those are excuses we should not give.
It's reality, actually.
It's reality.
So you have a really, really busy schedule. I guess I'm one of those close friends of yours who know that you're really busy, spend a lot of time in the lab. Like, how do you unwind?
How do I unwind? One thing for sure, I love running when I'm not in the lab postdocing. I love running, even though it's a little bit difficult here in Boston. Boston is cold.
You can run indoors, Akeem.
Yes, I can. So that is one way I unwind. Watching the news on TV.
Watching movies, maybe.
That is
binging on shows. So anyway, so what is your message to people out there who are obviously going to be inspired by your journey? What is your message to young people out there who would like to follow your footsteps, follow your career path?
The message is that don't choose the easy part. The story that really inspire people are not those straightforward story. The story that inspire people are the story of resilience. Don't always choose the easy path. If you see what you love and you want to go for what you love, even if it's a very difficult journey, I will advise you to pick it up, and you never know, it can only make you stronger. But, that is my message to people who want to follow this poststep. For me, it was never easy. For those who don't know me, as I said before, we immigrated as refugees with my family to South Africa. And when we arrived to South Africa as refugees, it was not easy. We did not have money. We did not have anything. But my mission was to go back to school. I think that was difficult. I went back to school, started all over. I was coming from the Congo at that time. I was doing second year already in geology and mining engineering. But when I arrived in South Africa, I started all over again from a bridging course, a bridging program called Science Foundation Program in South Africa. Started all over down there because I could not speak any English at that time.
So you learned in French?
Yes, I learned in the Congo.
Yeah.
We learn in French.
Yeah.
Then I arrived in South Africa directly in an English-speaking country. It was very, very challenging trying to learn the science and the language at the same time. But it was not easy. I remember my first test, I got 6% on the test. I went home, I cried, I really started again. It was now in less than 6 months I was speaking perfect English, not perfect, but enough English for me to go through
and understand.
And
probably that 6% was coming from not understanding the language, not necessarily failing the test. So that's a very inspirational journey.
So I want then to finish a degree in science, went for a master's and a PhD, and voila, we are
now you're here.
At MIT. So it doesn't have to be easy all the time, but if you are resilient, you can still do it.
What is your message for the new year? Because today is the last day of 2021, so we're going on to 2022 in a few hours' time. So what is your message to everyone?
Happy New Year to everyone out there. Happy New Year in South Africa, those who are in South Africa or here. The most important thing is that we are alive. We know that there is a lot of people who would love to see the end of this year, but they didn't get that opportunity because of coronavirus and things like that. But for us, we got that opportunity to see this new year. Is not because we are better than those who did not get it because of coronavirus, and you know how things have been this past 2 years. But we have that opportunity, and we should be grateful.
Thank you, Akeem.
Thank you, Miss Khei, for inviting me to your
coming to the living room.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. That was my brother, Dr. Akeem Ngomu, in the living room, and I hope that we can meet again in the new year. I wish you more success, more love, more happiness, everything positive in the new year.
Thank you, Miss Khei, and you too.
Thank you.